Adam is back from taking a trip abroad. I will discuss my upcoming trip to Walt Disney World, as well as a few other things, I'm sure. That's coming up today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 469 of Traveling with the Mouse. I'm your host this week. My name's John. And the man who keeps the show going is right across from me.
What's up? Oh, sorry. Say that again.
And his name is Adam.
What's up, everybody? Yeah.
He's not really directly across from me, but it looks like it right now because I'm looking at him on a screen.
Right.
But...
Yeah. I missed my cue on that one.
Well, I kind of left you hanging. It is entirely my fault. So, Adam, tell me, where does it rain?
In the plains.
And where is that soggy plain?
In Spain. Yeah, I traveled abroad, as you said, to Spain.
And for those of you that were wondering why we didn't release an episode this past week.
Yeah, we're able to. The 6-hour time difference really put a dent in our ability to record the...
I think we're on this different schedule entirely.
Yes.
You were sleeping. I was, saying, why isn't Adam putting a link out for us to record? That's good.
Yeah, because what would it have been? Like 4 a.m. or something like that for me.
Something like that.
So anyway.
Anyway, welcome back. It's not like you went to Spain. Except it was.
I did, yeah.
Except you did go to Spain.
One thing I did notice, Disney connection in Spain. A lot of people wore Mickey Mouse shirts.
Really?
Like everywhere I went, I saw Mickey shirts. But
the Spaniards are fans of Mickey, apparently.
Yeah, Mickey's everywhere, so it doesn't matter.
He's even in the airport in some places, for what you showed me.
Oh, yes, that was the airport in Amsterdam after midnight. The mice come out to play, that's for sure. Lots of them. So that was, or it was a ploy to get us to buy a hotel room, which we did, and for like 5 hours.
Maybe it was a ploy. They released them at night.
Yeah, it's like, you think you're gonna wait here for 5 hours when we have hotel rooms? Yeah. Anyway, the other thing was, Disneyland Paris is not that far away. So all the travel agencies, you're just walking by, it's like Disneyland Paris, everything was advertising that. So I imagine a lot of folks make the short trek over there. Probably a 2-hour flight.
It's a 2-hour flight?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe even less. From where we were in Spain. I mean,
okay.
On the coast.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
But what?
Enjoyable.
What was your, your reason? You had some friends you knew that were there, right?
Yep, some friends of ours, good friends, actually, that we went to Disney with last year, or 2 years ago, moved there.
Was this the group that said that they would pay?
Yes, yes, he lives there, Gary, yeah.
Okay.
He was like, I would have paid 100. He's a British.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking about Genie Plus, and I was like, I think it was 20, or whatever it was, 18, 20 back then. He's like, I would have paid 100 a day. It's like, well... Don't say that too soon, because you never know. We're getting there. That's a good segue into.
Yeah, I'm going to say, fortunately, it did taper off just a little bit.
But if you're talking for your group of 4, you paid at least 100. You paid a little over 100. So
right, entirely. So if you include, right? So this is as of the time we're recording this.
As always,
my 7-day mark.
Yes.
My first experience with Lightning Lane Multipass.
Mm-hmm.
I have thus far, I know you can plan all the days, but I have thus far only planned the 1 day.
Yes.
And the 1 day for a family of 4. This is getting just the Multipass, by the way.
Yeah, no individuals or single pass, I should say.
Yeah, no single pass. So on this particular day, which this is for Friday, October the 11th at Magic Kingdom, a Multipass was $29 each per person.
Yikes.
And that was for a total of $116, and then you add the tax, it's $123.56. Use Multipass.
I wonder, it seems to be a busy holiday weekend, because that's pretty high prices compared to what it's been in September, of course.
It's looking like it could possibly be. It might affect the amount of time we actually spend in the parks, which is okay with me because we're staying at a deluxe. So, I mean,
yeah, it's nice. Yes, you're currently still at Wilderness Lodge, right?
Yeah, that's not changing at this point.
Yeah. Okay, it's too close for you to change again.
I'm trying to think. It's been how long? It's been a number of years now that it seems like I always change it once, no matter what, from my original booking.
So Wilderness Lodge is going to be fun to hang around. Are you planning to do pool? I'm sure there's definitely a listener out there who will want you to visit Geyser Point.
Yeah, so Geyser Point is a place that I would like to visit at some point while we're there. Point.
So
Geyser Point. Anyway.
So give John some suggestions before.
Me some suggestions?
You know who you are, Betsy.
Oh, yes.
She'll give you some suggestions. So
right before, I guess, because this will, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I have noticed that the this infamous burger that people talk about over here is like $20. So
well, I mean
that's a lot
cheap
for a
Disney.
burger. That's actually a lot for a burger.
Well, I mean, for most places, yeah. And I don't want to put words in Barbas's mouth, but when we asked him, he had told me separately that Geyser Point was his favorite burger. Now, I don't want to quote him on that because I think that's...
You don't remember.
But I think he told me that offline.
Yeah.
That it was his favorite. So, it would be nice if you tried it out, see what you think.
Off the record.
Yes. Right, off the record.
Yeah. You don't want to throw that on him just in case it really wasn't his
yeah. Let's see what you think of it. Right. Let's see what you think of it first.
Well, as we've discussed before, I think we've kind of somewhat agreed right now that one of the best burgers is over at Three Bridges.
Yeah, I love that burger.
Yeah.
At Three Bridges for sure.
So,
I have in no way tried enough burgers probably to be,
like a
connoisseur of Disney burgers. Deluxe burger I like too, but I think my favorite is probably still Three Bridges. I've tried a lot of the quick service ones, and of course those can't really compare. They're basically frozen patties thrown on a griddle, like Cosmic Rays.
And then we used to think that Pecos Bill's was such a good burger, right? Once upon a time.
Actually, yeah, back, when during the 50th anniversary, I frequently got the Big Al burger because it was like a barbecue burger with bacon and stuff on it. I liked it, actually, but again,
I've actually enjoyed
the best.
I've enjoyed a couple of the faux burgers, I guess you would call them, like the vegetarian option burgers that they have there. They actually do pretty good with those. They had one over at Landscape of Flavors when we stayed there that time. I guess that was like 3 years ago. It had avocado on it. It was really good.
I do like that. I had one at Food and Wine Festival. This was several years ago, back when the Impossible was first coming out. And I was like, dang, that's good. So I still get the Impossible meat sometimes at the grocery store locally, but I don't mind those at all. I think they're pretty good. So, but again, they don't compare to like a real burger still. I mean, they can, but I'd prefer a real burger if I'm going to go fancy.
I don't know exactly how much table service we're going to do. If we do, we're not going to probably do a ton. It's probably going to be more quick service this time around. Although Saturday is our anniversary, so I just kind of left that up to my wife as to what she would particularly like to do.
Like what type of cuisine? Or are you going to like spin the wheel and see what's available and go, ooh, there's Narcoossee's or California Grill or something? I don't know. Geyser Point. No. Okay. Whatever is.
No, I mean, the kids are going to be there too. So I mean,
or Storybook. What's the one? What am I blanking?
Artist Point.
Artist Point. Yeah,
that one's the one that's more expensive at Wilderness Lodge, and it is character. It's Snow White. Now I guess the dinner is too, right? I think it's dinner.
It is. Yeah.
So it could be combo there. I mean, you never know.
Yes, you pay way more for the kids that they'll actually eat, but all the signatures are still kid friendly, I'd say. So
yeah, it really just depends on what she decides. It may not be a signature,
Yeah,
we've actually enjoyed the last few times we've been there, our experiences at a place like Coral Reef was actually quite good. So it's an option because we've enjoyed our experiences there.
Nice.
So
We were also a boat ride and a monorail, or a boat ride and another boat ride from Kona or
anything on the monorail loop.
Grand Floridian.
It's been a long time since I've eaten a dinner, I think, at Kona. It's mostly been breakfast.
But you could stop by Enchanted Rose and then do Citricos or something.
Citricos might be a good option. We'll have to look into that.
1900 Park Fare, but that would be
not very
characters, but a buffet.
I know it's over there somewhat closer since we're in a Magic Kingdom resort, but I don't think anything in Magic Kingdom would really qualify as a good place to go for that.
Yeah.
Not particularly.
So if we can coax Jason back on the show, he's going to be there at the same time, and
he is.
Should be able to meet up at some point.
I feel like we are, because we're both going to spend time in the same Magic Kingdom on Friday. I think though, but he has Halloween party tickets for the evening. And we're just going to kind of do the usually lighter crowd for Magic Kingdom the day of the party. So
you'll kind of be ships passing a little bit, because it looks like he's got the afternoon booked.
Well, I know as it stands right now, our Lightning Lane times for Tiana almost overlap. Like, I think the end of his window is like the beginning of my window, or vice versa. I couldn't remember which.
So you could ride it together, possibly.
It's possible, yeah.
Maybe.
I think we kind of decided that what we absolutely need to do is ride the rafts together, because that would make sense, especially because it could be for the last time.
Never that would be funny. You should do that as a photo op.
As a group, yes.
Too bad I can't be there for that too.
Yeah, that's something we're going to need to do. There's like I said, there's only a few things that I really like. That are like things I have to check off, I guess, really. Unless we can come up with some more here tonight, who knows?
Well, man, yeah, it's a good idea. So obviously you have to do Tom Sawyer Island one more time, and ride the rafts,
the riverboat,
and the river, all those things. Muppets, you should probably do Muppets too, just in case.
I think that won't be too hard to do, because I like doing Muppets. I think we do that on a regular basis. I don't know if it's because, well, one, it's usually easy to get into, and it's a place where you can sit in the cool for a while. So it's like one of only 2 3D shows left, right? No, there's still 3. Okay.
Well, until Bug's Life changes, I assume though the Zootopia one will be a 3D show.
It seems that way. 4D, 5D, however many Ds we're on.
Maybe. You'll have to do the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, right? You're going to check that?
Oh, yes. See, that's new. So that's one that has to be done.
Yep. Lots on your to-do list.
Just trying to think if there's more in Magic Kingdom, though. Most everything else, I think, has pretty much been there. I think Olivia's going to be just tall enough to try Tron. We'll have to see. She wants to.
Fun.
It's going to be dependent upon whether or not she meets the height requirement, and then whether or not her mother will let her. Her desire is there.
Right. Would you do rider swap, though? If not...
I don't know. I think Maddie would do this, actually. She just don't like the idea of ones that go upside down for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But as I've said before, my youngest is YOLO. I mean, when it comes to that, so...
The younger one seems to be, in my case as well, for sure.
So
yeah, are you going to do standby, or are you going to try to rope it or something? Or
I'm going to look at it, because the standby, I mean, I don't know. Again, it's been a little slower, but it hasn't really been that bad even then.
Yeah.
And I think that's and again, I think that's partially because it's pretty efficient. It's not a ride that, you spend a lot of time standing, let's put it that way, before getting into it. The line moves. So
there's that one room that I really don't like.
The one with the reveal?
No, the one that's after that, where you're going back and forth.
Oh, you don't even go back and forth that far. It's almost like a mirror image of the room in Guardians.
I'm talking about the room where the TVs are up there, and she's like,
"Oh, that room.
There's
Never
winners
mind.
and they're losers. Who
are
you?" Yeah, that room is the worst room.
Yeah,
that room stinks.
But do you get to skip that room if you have the Lightning Lane, or?
Yes. Because that room is so big that, yeah, if you're lightning lane, it would take forever to get through that.
The question with that one is it going to be worth it to pay, what is it, like $20, so $21 or whatever it is per person for the ILL? It's questionable.
I think that one I would pay more than I would Rise, to be honest, at this point.
That one might be a good one to do one of the nights, like near the end of the night that it's open later at Magic Kingdom, which is going to happen on non-party nights pretty much.
Yeah.
Because they've extended the hours, I've noticed, of Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. In the case of Rise, it's been around long enough now that the end of the day is when I would try to just jump in line. And
Rise is still $25 a person, though.
Right. I'm hoping that it doesn't break down because I'm not paying $25 for that anymore. Like, that's not worth it.
Apparently somebody is, because they keep selling them.
Yeah, if you've not done it before, or if you've only done it a couple times, it's still fun and it's worth it. But I'm not doing that. I will get in line at the end of the day and hope it stays open.
That's what I'm saying. It's either you're either spending your time rope dropping it, or you're just, making it your last thing you do before the park closes. Which I think is truthfully the better option, is to wait till the end. That's just me.
It is. Because you get the multi if you,
if it breaks down. You
either get to ride it with a short wait, or it'll break down and you get the multi for the next day.
So they give you the multi experience even though you didn't use a lightning lane for it?
Yeah, because it broke down while you're on it.
Okay.
They do it for everything, even if you didn't use a lightning lane.
It's like, you get a lightning lane, and you get a lightning lane. Everybody gets a lightning lane.
And that one, now that they're back to the tier system, obviously that's a tier 1, so that's a good one to have for the next day. But
I was going to say, if they give you an ILL, that would be nice.
Because
that would be the only way you could get a lightning lane for Rise, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. I assume though it would be a tier 1 for the multi.
I would imagine the multi experience you could just use it on whatever you wanted. They wouldn't care.
I'm hoping.
I mean, wouldn't you think?
Tier based on if you were on Small World, for example, and it broke.
I was gonna say, well, nobody's gonna take a multi experience and use it on like Barnstormer or something. Well, I don't have one, does it?
You'd be surprised though at what people burn those on without realizing.
What is it? You used to see those memes and everything. It's like, my window for booking reservations just opened. I got Tony's at 11:30 or whatever.
Yeah, I know. That's what you're going for? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Tony's.
Or something like that.
I think back to the things you should do, Pizzarizzo. I think we've all been talking about it.
You know what? Yeah, that's one that I definitely considered.
It's the city's highest rated pizza.
That small corner.
Yeah. But in case that is Monsters Inc.
on the chopping block too. Yeah.
It'll get turned into a sushi restaurant.
Just me, I should go to Launch Bay just in case it's on the chopping block.
Go meet Chewie and Darth Vader, and
I've already missed the window for Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy.
Yeah. So just closed, isn't it?
Yep.
Sadly, it's a great attraction.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see it once. Not very memorable.
Yeah, that one didn't really. I never quite understood that one.
Just to eat a few people.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes or however long that show was. So
yeah. I guess the idea there is that people see the 2 long lines between Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. They're like, oh, this is open, type deal, and maybe get that sort of thing. Once upon a time, Hollywood Studios had a real problem of people being all drawn to that little area, including Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it was very popular. Yeah.
I think it still is. Or depending on people lining up at, I don't know, like 4 p.m. for Fantasmic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was talking about that the other day of needing to go back to watch Fantasmic. I know you're not the biggest fan of it, but I was like, they have updated it slightly, so it's like I do kind of want to see it again, but I don't want to wait that long.
Just to get a good spot.
And then your other option is the dining situation where you can just walk at the last minute kind of thing, but then you don't get the best seat. So it's like, I don't know.
Well, I want to say, how late do you have to be to get in and still not necessarily, miss out, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say
that's the question.
Yeah. Not too long before, but then you're not going to get the best. The dining plant, whatever they call it, where you eat at one of the restaurants, you get guaranteed seating, I guess. But it's not the best section. It's like that far right section, isn't it? So
I seem to recall one time coming up like right when they started letting people in, I think. And we still managed to get like left center, I think, seats. So
okay.
Near the top, which is fine by me because...
Yeah, because the exit is like, it's a massive humanity trying to get out of there, too.
Yeah, and plus it's like a day's journey between the entrance.
Yeah, it's a long walk. Even if they take you the backstage way back, it's still forever long. Very long walk.
There's no mistake they put that refreshment cart where they did. It was definitely...
Right. Of course.
There's a long walk to somewhere when they have a place where you can buy snacks and stuff, like halfway there.
You're basically walking to the boardwalk almost. That's what it feels like.
Was it that far? No, it's not that
far. Yeah, it's definitely not that far because I have done that walk and it is very long.
You'd be walking along there, it's like, hey, there's a swan. No.
Right. That is a very long walk to get to the boardwalk, but anyway.
I've walked it.
Yeah, I've done it. I think some have run it, like the brothers. They talked about that.
Yes, they have.
Is there any news that we want to cover, or is there other stuff about the trip? I mean, the hurricane didn't really impact Disney too much, but that was
that was
massive impact on Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. So I hope everyone out there is doing well and recovering.
Yeah.
Who were impacted.
Definitely had a few areas that had some bad flooding. That was one of the things that...
Asheville, North Carolina, for example, was really bad and beautiful area. I'd love to go there, but yeah, it's been devastated, I think. Augusta, Georgia was hit very hard, so...
Not the Masters, though.
Well, I saw from Fred Ridley saying that they sustained quite a bit of damage to the course.
But nothing that would keep them from having the course being in good shape come April.
Oh, they'll get it. But I mean, they have how many months? 8 months or so? No, how many?
Yeah.
6 months? Whatever it is. They have time. So they'll get it back up and running. Obviously, it's Augusta, but...
Yeah, I always felt like when I was looking at this storm, at least as far as our part of the storm system, I always felt like looking at that path, I was like, this is being really hyped for seemingly no reason. I mean, I don't mean no reason in general. Obviously, it's somebody's in the path. I just meant like for the area we were in, like it was being hyped for this area a little more than I thought it should have been.
Yeah, we were lucky to be on the west side of the eye, so it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
We didn't, I don't think we even lost power, thankfully.
Yeah.
Of course, I wasn't here when that was coming through, but I was watching
you were in Spain.
My Ring cameras, and never lost power. So thankfully, a lot of people did, and
because you went to Spain.
Yeah, thankfully I missed that. But then there's like this chemical plant exploded as soon as we got back, so that's been interesting.
Have you noticed something regarding that?
There was a slight smell in the air, but if you live closer to the east side of Atlanta, for sure you got the smell of it. There's definitely people we know that lived near that area that their eyes would burn if they went outside.
Wow.
Chlorine and bromine, which if you're a Disney fan, you know those smells from all the water rides.
It's a little too much.
Yeah, but when it's on fire, it probably is not the best.
I'm going to say it's not the same combination as Pirates. You have the water smell, and then you also have the burning smell in there, too.
Right, but, well, yeah. and of course Rome burning. But
Yes.
that I don't know how to describe it. That floral smell that you can buy, not a sponsor, but Magic Candle Company or whatever, also has
Yeah.
those scents that in the auction scene in particular get pumped out in the Pirates. It's kind of a florally smell. I don't know how else to describe it.
Right.
But anyway.
Let's shift gears for just a moment and talk about just a couple of little things here to update on. Looks as though foundations have been poured regarding the work on Test Track 3.0. I don't know if you've seen any of this.
Foundations for
Yes.
where?
I guess for around the entrance from the looks of it.
Oh yeah, the concept art, didn't it show they were doing a new like canopy or entrance area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I think it's going to more cover like as close to a more permanent looking, we'll say, cover, and I think a little closer to the actual building.
I'm trying to let's see. Let me look at what's the concept art, because
it almost looks like an extension.
Oh, I see.
Of the building,
like another disc shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
hopefully
it looks like
weatherproof.
Yeah, but I hope it looks like an extension of the building. It's almost like they've taken, well, once upon a time, when World of Motion was here, you could actually stand outside and still be under the part of the building.
And
then they, of course, once they enclosed it and started using that area for different things, obviously that changed. So now it's almost like they're just extending that part back out.
Yeah,
as the roof
a little bit.
So.
Yeah, maybe that's part of their callback slightly.
Maybe they're calling back the exterior as well. So,
but they frequently had that extended queue slightly outside part that you would get rained on if it started raining. Of course, the ride would shut down if it rained anyway, but at least maybe now you'd be somewhat covered with this new awning if it was raining, although I wouldn't stay in line if it was raining because it would be down for a while. So
it looks as though the outlook for early in 2025 must be a little down because they rolled out some discounts here.
Yeah, I noticed that because that's not usual that they discount January. Yeah. It's not, especially 35% for pass holders and so on.
Yep, 35% for pass holders. Florida residents get 30% in hotel rooms in early 2025. 25% for anyone who can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have this room and ticket offer that says save up to $200 per night with a 2025 room and ticket offer.
Yeah.
So,
like I said before, because of Epic Universe and blah, 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 all that stuff, I think 2025 is going to be the best year for discounts that we'll see in a while. Take advantage if you're thinking about it. Because I think all year we're going to see these kind of discounts to try and lure people in or to get people to add on to their Universal stays, to have a couple of Disney days at least, because we know Epic Universe is going to draw next year just for the Nintendo Land alone, but everything else too.
We don't have a solid opening date for that yet, too. Not that I've seen.
Well, it's May. That's what or May or June, I think they say, right? Epic Universe.
Well, I mean, we haven't nailed down a day, is what I'm saying.
Not that I know of, but
like it's going to be opening May 13th or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't think there's a specific day yet, but it might be.
So this, the $200 per night, save up to $200 per night. I mean, of course, that's a tiered savings, right?
Is it?
So, and it's valid for most nights from February the 26th through June 30th of 2025. So they're willing to do roughly a 6-month discount for this package. Of course, the headline is the grabber, save up to $200 a night. But if you're going to save $200 a night, it's going to be on the deluxe resorts, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They always, whenever they dollar amount, it's going to be
right.
You're paying $600 a night anyway.
However, the mods, you can get $120 per night and save $120 per night.
Nice.
And the values, you can save $60 per night. So that could be significant.
Yeah, still could be.
Interestingly, what I would consider the mod category, because they, out of the traditional ones, right, the Caribbean Beach, Coronado, the Port Orleans, they're using the cabins in this category and the family suites at the value resorts. So in other words, if you get one of the family suites at the value resorts, you're, I guess because those do cost more, you actually get a little bit more of a discount on those in comparison to the traditional values. So
that makes sense. I actually want to try one of those because they're at All-Star Music, right?
Well, they're also talking about the suites at Art of Animation as well.
Yeah, of course. But I want to try the All-Star Music suites.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's at Music that has the suites. The other ones don't.
Yeah.
I think they're very limited to the number of them they have, too.
Yeah, there's not a ton of them, but I definitely want to try one of those. Music's my favorite of the All-Stars, for sure.
And then you've got Everything Pop Food Court, where the refurbishment has been extended 2 more months.
Oof. Hopefully it turns out good. I think it needed the refurb, but...
Has it ever had one?
I don't know. Not sure.
I mean, it's not that resort was opened in, what was it, 2000, somewhere in that range?
Yeah, it's been a while. Somewhere in that range, wasn't it?
2001, 2, somewhere in there. Hell, 2000, trying to think. For Pop, it's been 2003, I think it was. Just right off the top of my head.
Let's double check. 2003, December 14th.
Yes. So we're at the end of 2003, but it still was there.
Yeah.
I knew.
Makes sense.
I knew it was in the ballpark.
Yeah. Speaking of refurbs and needing a refurb, I saw that Bay Lake Tower rooms were getting a much needed refurb because those rooms had not been updated since 2009 when it opened, and they desperately needed it. So that's a good thing, especially for those who are DVC. I think after this refurb, it's going to be great to stay there again.
I didn't realize this was a problem that I was about to look at here. Tomorrowland Speedway construction is complete to prevent cars from lane jumping?
Yeah, I saw that story.
I didn't realize you could even do that. I didn't think that they would come off the track. I was like, how could you lane jump?
Yeah, I have not. I mean, I guess I've never tried to, but...
It's just weird. I was just looking at it, I was like, how hard do you have to turn the wheel to jump the lane?
From my experience, it doesn't matter which direction you turn the wheel, it doesn't really turn very easily. So
very much.
So if
I
you
was trying to figure out how that was taking place.
Yeah, if you were lane jumping, you weren't trying to. It's just.
I guess not. You just hit the right thing at the right time, I guess. Huh.
But yeah, I can tell they're wider. Maybe it's also helpful for the horrible wheel alignment that they apparently all have.
I guess. So yeah, I didn't know that derailing was a problem over there. It never has really made big news. So
yeah, I've never. Yeah, maybe it isn't. Maybe they're just.
Obviously, nobody's crashed.
Yeah, not that I've seen or heard about. So
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that covers. I mean, there's not like a ton of like super
exciting news.
Yeah, we've already kind of like covered the Lightning Lane, how the price of it, what we're looking at. I don't know. I think the strategy for using this. Oh yeah, we're talking about things that we need to say goodbye to, so to speak. Dinoland, anything that's left over there that we wanted to do. Dinosaur in particular, we'll need to go on it one more time.
Yeah. Isn't the rumor, though, that Dinosaur will be around a little longer than Triceratops?
Possibly.
But are you going to go do Triceratops one more time?
Right. I mean, why?
Yeah, what's the point?
I mean, it's a spinner, and it was never one that I liked anyway, so.
But you could go eat at Restaurantosaurus one more time. Maybe.
So like I said, Dinosaur.
Yeah, right, okay. Understood.
So the phased closure of Dinoland is rumored at this point to begin in November. So it could
So
be the
soon.
last time.
Yeah. I mean, the Boneyard, I know my kids liked it at one point, but I think they've kind of outgrown it, wanting to play there. So it's not that exciting anymore.
Right. That's like for a certain age group, pretty much, right?
And I don't know who would pay more money to do those horrible carnival games, but I think they still actually have them.
Yeah. They would, there's somebody that's doing it, obviously.
I feel like Dinoland is one area where Disney committed too much to the theme, and it's like the cheesy roadside attraction thing. Like they really went all in on it, but it kind of goes counter to what trying to make something look cheesy and not well put together is not usually what Disney does, even though they did that well. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Triceratops spin is definitely cheesy.
Yeah. So they did a good job with it, although it doesn't look like something that Disney would do, I guess. I don't know.
And if they wanted to put together an attraction that looked like it could fall apart, then they did that with Primeval World. So
yeah, that was
yeah,
that ride was not very fun.
not particularly.
It was okay, but
right. It was a coaster.
It wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, Dinosaur was definitely the e-ticket of the area.
Yeah.
So.
And they've let it go so badly that, it just needs to be redone at this point.
Yeah, it's in pretty rough shape now. I'd still do it one more time, though, just to say we did it.
But watching the video of it, too, is like, the pre-show. You can tell how old it is.
Right. It had a really tiny screen, and it's not digitized.
And then you're like, oh, it's Claire Huxtable, and then it makes you think about Bill Cosby, and then it's like, oh, that didn't age well,
Well, he's not in it.
Well, no, but I mean, it makes you think of the Cosby Show, and then you're like, oh, wait.
What happened to his bust and all those other busts that were on at Hollywood Studios? Where are they now?
Exactly. I
forgot all whose bust was over there, but
Walt Disney's.
Yeah,
was one of them. But yeah, Bob Hope maybe. I don't remember who else was out there.
I remember Bill though for some reason.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So, yeah.
I can take a little break from the action of what we're talking about here, just to go back to a story that I just came across. I remember when it came up, I was thinking about it, and then of course we just haven't reconvened on the show since then. But the Walt Disney World receiving a permit clearance for construction of a 10-story hotel at Fort Wilderness.
Right.
Now yes.
Well, we assume.
As soon as I see this in there, just the fact that it says 10 stories, I'm like, are they getting lazy in the name of adding more capacity to the hotels? Because I just feel like another tower. You know what I mean? You just never used to see that on Disney property. It was one of the things that, for instance, the Contemporary. One of the things that made it more unique was it was the only tower for the longest time.
Yeah. Right.
That was part of its
unique
charm,
right?
Its uniqueness to it. But now everybody has a tower.
Well, then the dolphin came along and dominated the skyline of Walt Disney World.
Yeah. But still, Disney didn't do this for the longest time.
Right.
It started with Destino, I guess.
Yeah.
But Destino made more sense. I mean, it was, except for the fact that that's a mod resort.
Yeah.
But it needed something else. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, the location of Coronado is far enough away. It doesn't impose the Disney skyline as like the dolphin does. I'll put it that way.
Right.
It's far enough away that it doesn't, like if you're in Epcot, you don't go, oh, there's Grand Destino, like you do the dolphin. Or if you're riding Everest, you definitely see it, but when you're up at the top. But But if you're in some of the other, like if you're on the monorail at Magic Kingdom, you can see the dolphin. You know what I mean? Way in the distance. You don't see Grand Destino. So while it is big, it's not based on its location. It's not imposing, and it's not in the way of things.
Right.
Yeah. And the Polynesian Tower is not so tall, right? How many stories is that one?
I don't know.
Well, we'll see when
Is
it's
it also
final.
10?
I think it might be. It's at least 10.
So I don't know.
It's not as big as Destino, but still. Because they haven't confirmed that this is Reflection, that they've dusted off the plans for it. But I assume it is, since they already had it all the way through to, like, the plans, I'm sure.
But they didn't have a 10-story building in the original Reflection.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's modified then. Because it looks like it was only like 7 or 8 floors. But
Rehab resort.
yeah. And
Was
spa.
what it originally.
Yeah, it did kind of look like that too. The
Rehab retreat.
concept art, it could be anything. Yeah, it doesn't. I think that's the big criticism a lot of people have right now of Disney's newer hotels and newer additions are they're very generic. They could be anywhere hotels. They don't
Somewhat.
have as unique of a style or theme as some of the other deluxe hotels
Right.
have.
I think it's too because a couple of things. Again, they never used to do this, but also people outside of Walt Disney World, like they build stuff
Mhm.
better than they did when Disney was doing this originally, right?
Mm.
So, I mean, everybody has access to this kind of the exact same stuff for the most part, as far as what to build and how to build, and
Yeah.
it's not unique to just them anymore.
Yeah.
You can say the same about the service.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Yeah, at one point Disney was a step above, and now they're kind of below some places when it
Well,
comes to
again, I don't know that, and you could probably find your cases for the below, but I don't think it's as much below as it is, say, Tiger Woods coming to the PGA Tour. It raised the level of competition.
That's true. Okay, sure. But there
So I
are
think,
some. I was thinking about that the other day too about the Magical Express going away. It was, I think we mentioned this a couple weeks ago too. They've slowly stripped away some of the great perks of staying on a Disney resort. It's sort of stripped a lot of the value out of it because now if you fly in, you got to pay $50, $60 for an Uber from the airport rather than, or, even more for some kind of shuttle service, unless you rent a car, and that's going to cost a lot too. When you did have a shuttle for free to and from the airport. So
there you go.
And as we mentioned, back to the multi-pass, Jason, for his party of 4, he's going with his parents and his son next week for I forgot how many, was it 4 days, 5 days, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's the same amount of time.
Yeah, and he paid $692? No, $672.
Almost $700.
Yeah, close to $700 for he got a couple of single pass and multi pass, but that was free 5 years ago.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of instances of people that have paid even more than that for this particular time period.
Yeah. I think that was another story is because we're getting into holiday season, the price is creeping up to
Right.
as you said, it was 29, right?
I don't think we've discussed this too, mentioning the increased price. It's almost, people are almost saying it's a given that in the not too distant future, that Disney's going to offer a similar pass to what Universal does.
Yeah, that is
That's like
the
a
rumor.
like a true skip the line pass.
Like, yeah, you just pay a hefty fee and you just walk on
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
No limitations type deal. Now, I would imagine that would be pretty expensive.
Yeah, for Disney.
I can't think of, what is it Universal calls theirs again? I've known it once upon a time, but now I haven't used the term in so long I can't remember. basically they have a couple of different versions of theirs, but basically the top tier is the one that you can, if you get it, you can go on all the attractions that have the capability for as many times as you want.
Express pass.
Express pass. So yeah, but the top tier of that one is you can just basically do what you want.
Yeah.
But you pay for the privilege of doing what you want, basically. So I don't know, you're looking at it now. How much is it at the moment?
It's so it's $119.99 to $319.99
Per person.
plus tax.
Which really, when you compare it to what you're paying for, say, Lightning Lane Multipass, it's not that terrible. It's more, obviously, but it's still not that terrible for what you're getting in comparison.
Yeah, it depends on, I don't know if it depends on the day or not, but if you get the 2-park one, I'm looking at here, $134.99 plus tax. That's per person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you have to already have the park passes on. It's on top of that, of course, cheapest looks like is $89.99, but it's one ride per. Whereas the other one, you can ride it multiple times. Rides, any of them. So I think there's limitations on some of them, but there's lots of different versions of it. But yeah, if Disney did this, so Disney likes to, and they've sold a lot of these VIP tours as well. So I feel like the price will be obviously lower than the VIP tour, but high enough to where you would think most people would, if they're going to pay, they would pay the multi-pass price.
See, this is the interesting thing. For whatever reason, Disney fans just like say, "Here, take my money."
Yeah,
when they release something. So it's almost like, I almost feel like that would be a popular option and turn out to be not what they originally intended it to be.
Well, they would just start raising the price on that still too.
Yeah, what do you think you do? You just raise the price to keep people from buying it.
Right.
Like if you want this, you're going to have to pay for it, pretty much.
Yeah. So I think Disney's would be more expensive than this at $130 a day, because that's too close, in my opinion, to what you pay. I mean, even, we're talking $30 a person per day.
I think they're going to have to.
I'd say it's going to be $200 at least, $250 probably per person per day if they do this kind of thing.
They're going to have to be concerned with competing to some degree with that type pass if they're going to go with it at all. So,
yeah. And then, at that point you're talking, well, do we just get a VIP tour?
Right.
If you're willing to pay that much. So it's like maybe they're trying to fill the gap between multi-pass and VIP tour. I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe.
We shall see.
Yep. All right. So just kind of wrapping up, like I say, so far, I've not really planned too far in advance as far as Lightning Lanes go. I've only done the one day. I don't really see that it's going to be necessary for me to plan too far in advance on the other days. At least it doesn't look like it right now. I feel like it's one of those things where every day they're going to refresh the inventory because they have a lot of day of anyway.
And
it's not like they're just going to exclude, the future days. Like, if they're going to, each day you get closer, it's a new day. It's a whole new refreshed inventory, I would think. So,
do you know what park you're going to go to yet on the second day?
Thinking Epcot. See, the plan on Friday really is to just spend the first part of the day in Magic Kingdom, maybe go back to the resort for a while and take advantage of the deluxe after hours at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So, because they're gonna have the 2 extra hours. And there's just something about having the ability to be in Animal Kingdom at night that there's something, especially Pandora, that it's such a rare occasion when you
doesn't
get to
happen
do
often anymore.
Yeah, that it's nice to take advantage of because.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Pandora was meant to be seen in the dark, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I think it was.
I think it was meant to be more of a nighttime, or at least it has the capability of, has a lot of nightlife to it.
Yeah. Indeed.
A lot of the rest of the park, not so much.
Yeah.
maybe this stuff, the screens they put on the Tree of Life. But oh yeah, that was another one Mike can say goodbye to. Is tough to be a bug, right? So
Yeah. I was gonna say you could.
I don't know if the girls have ever seen that.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
Just tell them to lean back for the whole show.
that's like, you and I
No.
need to watch it together so I can like pin you down.
I hate that. Was the worst
I
thing
always thought the
ever.
effects on there were pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Honey I Shrunk the Audience ones? How they made it feel like you were getting like whipped with a rat's
Yes.
tail, apparently.
Yes, I do. Of course. Yes. I do
That's what
remember
it made
that.
it seem like.
Was it like a weed eater cord that was whipping around? Because I felt like I hurt my leg. It's just air, right?
What? I feel like it's just air. Yeah, I could be
Yes.
wrong, but they did make it feel like there was something going through
Yeah,
there.
they definitely did. Yeah, I do remember that.
Weed eater cord.
My leg's bleeding.
Yeah.
A little too
What was it?
realistic.
What was the other effect they used in there? In Honey I Shrunk the Audience. Well, I remember the cork sneezing at the end. They made it like they made the water effect. Of course,
Yes, they always did the water effect, which I think all of them do that.
Yeah, to some degree. I don't think that one had as many effects in it.
Yeah, I only remember
it was fun.
Those two. Yeah,
it was fun.
I liked it. I think I liked that one because when I was a kid, but
yeah, didn't have quite as many as Bugs Life did. They stab you in the back. They
yes, they spray you with bug spray, right?
They do. They roll you. They roll your seat basically, or they
when they
fondle you. The seats fondle you.
Right
on the exit. You know, it seemed like the last time I went in there, I don't remember if maybe it was just my seat, but that effect didn't work, I think.
Well, yeah, I don't remember, but you always hear people jump scare when they exit.
Yeah.
So definitely, some of them still work.
Yeah. I was trying to remember if we've done this show since they were older. I don't think they may not remember it. I think it actually gave Maddie like night terrors when she was a 1-year-old.
I mean, that show for a young kid, it's kind of scary, especially giant bugs like
Black widow spiders descending upon you.
Yeah, and when they like try to spray you with bug spray and like slap you with water and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
What? You still alive?
Right. Yeah.
Just means war.
And another villain that didn't age well, Kevin Spacey. So, just saying.
I don't think that's the actual villain name. I'm just saying.
Well, he's well. It may not be the voice of him in the show either. But close enough. Well,
then just again, saying. It might be
another actor that didn't age well with the show. But
well, I was actually just thinking, what about? Do you remember from Alien Encounter? They don't have it anymore, obviously, but L.C. Clinch, he was played by. Oh gosh, what's his name? The Beetlejuice actor, Jeffrey. I think it's Jeffrey, isn't it? What's his name? The one that was. He was the dad in Beetlejuice.
Oh, wait, who was it?
Yeah, well, anyway, he doesn't exactly have the best reputation now either. As a matter of fact, in the sequel, they didn't have him in it because, well, he was the one that was charged with like I don't know, like like predatory type charges with young boys. Back in the early 2000s.
Yikes. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yes. But he also played L.C. Clinch in Alien Encounter. Just starting to notice the connection here.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, well, they closed it.
But there's a reason why they opened, like in the Beetlejuice sequel, why they like have his funeral and just totally write that one off. Like, we're not going to have this character back at any point in time.
I can see why. Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't think of the actor's name now. I mean, I'm just being lazy and not looking it up, truthfully. But those of you listening, some of you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, yeah. One of the things we're planning to take advantage of that I've never done at Disney World is part of this package. They sent them to us, but the mini golf over there, we actually get a free round as part of the package. So
did you get a voucher for it or something?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Did they still mail it to you or they?
No, it was mailed. Yeah, it's an actual paper voucher.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a card that's on
Nice.
some type of paper, I guess we'll call it, but yes.
So which one are you going to do? So,
We're syncing the Fantasia one,
yeah.
maybe. But I haven't, it's not really decided yet. Well, we'll do one of them, though, but we're going to do it while we're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, to go along with that, among the stuff that was mailed, there was like discounts to several of the restaurants were included in there that you just had to show that card for.
Is it ones like it used to be like Planet Hollywood? Or
is Planet Hollywood still even in existence? It's gone, isn't it?
No, it's still there.
Is it still there?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything of it anymore.
Still exists.
Hang on, let's see. I was trying to see if it actually, I think it's in my plans here, I guess we'll say. I think I read over it, though, in a previous episode, did I not? As far as what they sent me.
I don't remember you going through all the details. You talked about wanting to do the mini golf, so.
Yeah, I was thinking for some reason I went over the actual plans. I can't seem to find it now, though.
Well, we may have another recording next week.
We might. All right, so I think we've efficiently used our allotted time, right? Although I don't know who allotted it to us, but we just our own self monitoring. So so you can find us on social media, on Facebook, X, Instagram. That's all at TWTM Podcast. We also have a Spreadshirt store still, which you can get your Traveling with the Mouse shirts. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. And we have a YouTube channel, which I'm hoping, because I've got, pretty good settings on my camera that I've been playing with and figuring out. Hopefully I've got good settings to maybe get some good footage to put on there when we get back. Where can we find that, Adam?
Our website, travelingwiththemouse.com. You can also email us podcast at travelingwiththemouse.com. We have links to all that and more there.
So, for Adam, my name is John. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on our next trip.